So I'm going to share it with you here. Okay, tell me what you can remember here.
This diagram shows about how sugar is manufactured from sugar canes. Overall, the process consisting from main stages is farming, crushing, separating, and drying. The first step is raw sugars, and it takes about 12 to 18 months to grow. After growth, it's harvested uh, by by merchant by mechanically and manually. Um, the the man the manual require farmer to cut the leaf first. And while the mechanic method can user machine can cut the cane directly, and then the canes are crushed into a hand crushed to extract the juice, and then they put it in a turn it to a liquid by using limestone filter. And then see an evaporator. They put it as they boil in an evaporator to remove water. Then it turns into a syrup, and the syrup is put into a centrifuge.
Okay.
To make a sugar crystal from syrup. Finally, the crystal
to separate the sugar crystals from the syrup, not to make it, to separate it.
To separate the sugar crystal from the syrup. Finally, the crystal are dried and cooled, and the end product is sugar.
Okay, now I'm gonna share this one with you and see if we can read this one just to go over it again. Okay. Just put us there so you can read it. Okay, there. Let's read this one.
In some countries, there is a growing interest among people in tracing the history of their homes. I think they research this for many reasons. Perhaps our interest or to find a sense of connection. In order to find this answer, they should turn into the scenarios for their neighborhoods. Some people delve into the stories of their homes simply because they are curious. Many historical buildings have been torn down, which makes those that remain uncommon treasures in the city. As a result, it's likely that residents in the surviving buildings can't have finding out most about them, such as where when they were built and why they look the way they do. There are also people who do research to find a sense of connection with concrete residential buildings everywhere. Neighborhoods nowadays look very alike. Therefore, it is hard for people to feel something special about where they live. However, by learning about the buildings that once stood there and the people who live in them, for example, a sense of connection and involvement may be fostered. The best way for people to explore, I believe, is to ask for elderly in their neighborhood. Many seniors have lived in the same neighborhood all their life, and they have seen it change around them. They have witnessed people coming and going. Talking to them can definitely have one uncover some intriguing stories of the place where one lives. In conclusion, curiosities and a desire to stick a connection are two possible reasons why people investigate the history of their homes. To find answers, they should ask the old people in the neighborhood for help.
Good. Okay, and this one. Okay, let's read this one.
The first graph displays the percentages of households that own electrical appliances in one country between 1920 and 2019, while the second graph illustrates how much time households in that country spent doing housework during the same period. Overall, ownership of all three appliances increased during the period, with that of refrigerators having the greatest growth. At the same time, the amount of time spent on housework decreased. Washing machines were the most common of the three electrical appliances in 1920, with ownership reaching 40% of the population. This number then rose to about 75% in 2019. Although ownership climbed steadily, it did not reach 100%. In comparison, almost no household has a refrigerator in 1920. However, ownership increased rapidly, and by 1980, there was one in every household. The amount of time spent doing housework, by contrast, first fell significantly from 50 to 15 hours per week between 1920 and 1980. After that, it only experienced a small drop to just over 10 hours a week in 2019.
Good. Okay. One more time for today's one. Let's have a look. Okay, let's explain this, what you see here.
The diagram displays how sugar is manufactured from sugarcane. Overall, the process consisting of four main steps is farming, crushing, separating, and drying. Separating and drying. The first step is grow sugar canes, and it takes about 12 to 18 months for it to grow. After that, it is harvested by mechanically or manually. The manual method requires the farmer to cut the leaf first, while the mechanically methods can cut the canes directly, and then the harvest machines can are crushed into a mill to extract the juice, and then they put it in a limestone filter, and and then they put the juice in an evaporator to to make a syrup, and then the syrup is put into a centrifuge where it can separate the sugar crystal from the syrup. Finally, the crystal are rise and cold, and the end product is sugar.
Okay, good, much better. Okay, so this is much better from your 1 or 2 sentences to now you've got an idea of what to write. You just use exactly all the information they give you here to make nice and good sentences, and you use the big words. No, you don't use simple words. You even though it's all simple words, you try and like, you don't say machine, you say merchandise, or you say machinery, produce, purified. So you use all the clues they give you to make it an interesting piece, and then you use your words to describe it. You did much better now. Well done. I will see you next time, sweetie. Okay.
Yes,
Bye, my love.
teacher.
Bye, sweetie.